Over here at Edmunds, we get riled up about minivans. I am not joking. So when we found out Toyota was redesigning the 2021 Sienna, this time with a hybrid powertrain as standard, you better believe we got on the phone as fast as we could. This is the Sienna we got. It joined our long-term test fleet, and over the course of the past year, we've put 18,000 miles on it, testing everything from the hybrid powertrain to technology, and of course, the back seats. Now you have a lot of good choices in the minivan segment. We've also owned versions of the Honda Odyssey and Chrysler Pacifica. Now we have not owned the new Kia Carnival, but recently we did do a 4 minivan comparison video. You can check that out if you want to see me wearing a fanny pack. But today's question is, how does the Sienna strike us over the long term? I'll show you. Remember, these aren't just my opinions. You can click the link in the description below to see our long-term test page on the Sienna, where all of our editors give their thoughts as they've gotten a turn behind the wheel of the Sienna. And don't forget to click like and subscribe so you can see more videos just like this one. Now, the Platinum all-wheel drive comes to $51,000, and then we wanted to add a few extra goodies like a rear-view mirror camera and an entertainment display for the second row. With that, this car is around $54,000. That's an expensive minivan. For full disclosure, we did not buy this ourselves. Instead, it's on loan from Toyota simply because we can't buy every single vehicle that we want in our long-term test fleet. So this one is borrowed. But does it live up to the billing? Let's find out. Since every Sienna is a hybrid, you would expect big fuel economy numbers. At least we sure did. And the EPA agrees, rating the 2021 Sienna at 35 mpg combined. Ooh, baby, we were ready for some big numbers. Unfortunately, that didn't quite come to pass. Over the course of our ownership period, we had one tank that topped 38 mpg, but otherwise, over the course of the test, we averaged 32.3 mpg, and that was with us trying to get the highest number possible. This was extra disappointing because when we tested a front-wheel drive Sienna, it outperformed its rating, and on our standardized test route, it got 45 miles per gallon. I can hear you now. But Ryan, that's so much better than a typical minivan. Excellent point. And we agree. We saw one tank get 542 miles in this Sienna. But just imagine how much better that would be if it could consistently hit its rating. You can describe driving the Sienna in 2 words. Easy. It has a smooth ride and easy steering. And best of all is that the hybrid system seamlessly blends gas and electric power, and that makes for a really smooth power delivery. Now, it ain't fast. Whether that means getting from 0 to 60 in 8.3 seconds on our test track, or merging onto the freeway, making a pass on the freeway, going on an uphill freeway, basically freeway stuff. It doesn't do that well. Some other things to know. The transmission is a CVT, so you will get a loud, drony, robotic type noise if you're pressing on the accelerator very hard, and there's just not very much you can do about that unpleasantness. Also, some of our editors complained that the braking can be pretty grabby, and I am inclined to agree. That makes it difficult to come down to a comfortable stop. Last, the all-wheel drive system. It just didn't seem to exist very much. The only time we could really tell it was actually working was going uphill on a gravel road. When it comes to comfort, space is the main ingredient here, and as you can see, there is a lot of it. I've got plenty of room to move around, and at 6 feet tall, headroom is not a problem. There's also a lot of adjustability in these front seats, so it's real easy to find a nice and comfortable driving position. As for the back, again, there's plenty of space back here, plus excellent seat cushioning that would keep me happy on a road trip for hours on end. And check out this function. Sliding second row seats. Keep my gangly spider legs nice and comfy. Huh? even all the way back here. It's not difficult for me to climb all the way into the third row, and there's plenty of space once I'm here. These seats even recline. I could take a little nap.
Ryan.
What? Back in the front, I also like the outward visibility that you get here. There's a nice big windshield, and these pillars are actually pretty thin, so you get an almost panoramic view when you're coming around the corners, which is really helpful, especially out here on these mountain roads. Also, there's a cool center storage area down here, and our editors use this to carry purses or healthy snacks. Okay, cookies. Now, obviously, our Platinum trim is pretty well outfitted. You've got pretty convincing leather throughout and nice soft materials. Maybe a little too soft. Our operations manager actually put a dent in this pad up here with his bony elbows. So, bony, be wary. As far as technology in the Sienna, there is a lot to like. Unfortunately, the touchscreen isn't one of them. Now, it's a 9-inch unit that comes standard on all trims, and the size is fine, but for the Platinum model, we expect a little bit more. But if direct sunlight touches the screen, it just washes it out and makes it very difficult to see. That's pretty frustrating. Also, the camera for the backup system is shockingly low res. Like, should not be that poor. Now, with our model, the Sienna also gets a 360-degree view camera, which is really nice, but like, get the basics first. High-res cameras aren't expensive these days. One thing we do really like is the navigation system because it gives clear directions and it could still find us even when we're up in the mountains. There are also some cool tricks. We added on the rearview mirror camera system and the optional intercom system. As for driver aids, every Sienna comes with a long list that includes forward collision mitigation, lane departure warning, and a blind spot monitor. Even the adaptive cruise control system is impressive, and it seemingly works better than it does in other Toyota vehicles. Now, it's on the conservative side, so it will slow when other vehicles get a little bit too close for comfort. But it does that smoothly and without any jerky or sudden maneuvers. So, hopping into the rear cargo space, it sure seems like the Sienna has a lot to offer, right? Well, kind of. Competitors offer more maximum capacity, but you can create more by folding down the third row seats, just like this. Hopefully you remember to take your baby out first, but look at all the extra space that creates. Oh look, I have a skateboard ramp here. Let's see if it fits. Hey, turns out it slides right in. And that second row is not even slid all the way up to its most forward position. So while the Sienna may not be class leading in terms of cargo space, the flexibility of this system overall still makes it really usable, and in our mind makes up for that. You don't just have to take my word for it. Here's what our other editors and test drivers had to say about our long-term Sienna.
So holiday season is upon us and suddenly the Sienna is very much in demand. This is our new 7-foot family tree. We're gonna put it to the test if I can pick it up. Needs a bit of a vacuum, but as you can see, all is well.
There's one feature in the Sienna that I thought would be a crutch, but as it turned out, not being able to remove the second row seats didn't matter as much as I thought it would. A flat load floor would have been nice that time I transported 8 muscle car tires or when I picked up all that lumber from Home Depot. But I was able to work around the seats, and in the end, I think the massive legroom that the long slide seats gave in return was worth the trade-off.
I've never been a real big fan of the Toyota Sienna. The previous generation lacked a little something, even by the standards of the minivan class. It wasn't all that interesting to drive. And the same can still be said about the current model, but the hybrid powertrain is so fuel efficient that it would be difficult to I think, consider any other minivan.
While the Toyota Sienna is a minivan, that's a little bit of a misnomer. It feels like a large vehicle while you're driving it and when you sit in the driver's seat, especially if you're used to driving things like, I don't know, a Honda Civic or a Toyota Camry, and now you have 3 kids and soccer practice and school to go to every day. It feels big while you're driving it and, while you're in it. But it's not especially powerful because of the hybrid motor, and that's, something you're gonna have to get used to if you're gonna be driving this all over town.
Good news! There were no recalls issued for our car. Toyota did issue a recall for some 2022 model year Siennas to fix an incorrect seatbelt. But those were only on 8-seat configuration models, and it was only about 2,300 of them. Similarly, our Sienna was trouble-free when it came to maintenance as well. We took it to a local dealer one time for a scheduled service at 10,000 miles, and you know what? It was free 99. That's because Toyota is the only automaker in the class to offer a free scheduled service under 25,000 miles. Love it. Otherwise, we rotated the tires once and saw no indications of future trouble. So, a solid experience overall. As I said earlier, we didn't buy this car. Toyota loaned it to us. And unfortunately, they say that means we can't sell it for cold hard cash. But what if we did anyway? According to our Edmunds appraisal tool, due to the white hot used car market right now, this Sienna would be worth over $51,000. And that's with 17,000 miles on it and visits to about a half dozen national parks. That's pretty surprising. We'll see if this white hot market keeps up or if it's just a passing fad. And now we bid a fond farewell to our long-term Sienna as it rides off into the sunset. I'm gonna miss the little bugger. Now, did it live up to expectations? Obviously, if you're fixated on fuel economy, the answer is no. We could never consistently match its EPA ratings, and that's a real bummer. On the other hand, if you expected a Sienna that's super helpful, spacious, comfortable, and convenient, then the Sienna held up just fine. And hey, even if it didn't match its ratings, the Sienna is surely the most efficient minivan that's not a plug-in hybrid. And that helps the Sienna continue to stand out, even in the face of flashier, sportier competitors. Sometimes, the sensible choice is the way to go.